cinematographer, and I had all the actors that I wanted, and they were all magnificent and wonderful. I was very, very happy doing the movie, specifically when we were up in the mountains. Not so much in the studio, because I didn't have a place to really be. I didn't have my own office. Can you imagine that? I'm doing this multi-national movie, and it's my second film, and I didn't have an office. But Sven was fantastic, and because we are so good friends, you know, our language was, you know, fantastic, and everybody was nice. But yes, I was treated as a woman.
Do you feel that there are always power games going on in that kind of a sphere?
Yes, very often, and I think I lend myself a little to it. But I hear very often in all my years, if you are, for example, as an actress, the main actor, people who want other things, and so they will often go and you don't know about it, and they will say, Liv said this is what she wants, or Liv would like this. And it wasn't me, but that way they can get something that they would find important and good for the movie. And so, and I'm always very suspicious. Why was this decision taken, I ask. Well, isn't this something you wanted? No, I didn't want this. I had lined up for a shot, and suddenly I see the camera is somewhere else and doing something else. And yeah, we'll do that later or something. That really happened. I had a wonderful idea. It was never part of the movie. And Sven didn't know either, you know. He thought we were doing that shot, but they just moved the whole thing. And actually, I even experienced it once with Miss Julie, so late. I came one day and they had started the scene. I came with the script and I came out of the car, and for some reason the light was so good, so we started without you. Oh, that stays so much. But you know, just talking about it, I go right back to that stupid Liv. I don't want to be that woman anymore.
Liv Ullman har kapitulert. Hun har gått med på at Kristin Lavransdatter-filmen skal klippes ned fra 3 til 2,5 timer, selv om hun har lagt ned store kjensler i hver scene.
Jeg har vært imot det hele tiden, og jeg mener det stadig, for jeg vet ikke hvorfor vi har det så veldig travelt.
We got a new leader of norsk film. He wanted me to edit it and cut it, and I didn't want to. And every director who has to cut their movie, they feel somehow they cut out some of the bloodlines that are important. When we talk about it now, we remember 2 very different stories. Today he's one of my best friends in the world. That's Tom Remlov.
Well, she's demanding. When I tell her that she is, why? No, not at all. She doesn't feel at all that she's demanding, but she is, and she knows. She is literally a prima donna, you know, in the actual sense of that word. In other words, the first among equals, if you like, the one who has the courage to insist on her sense of quality, on her sense of what matters. And as a producer, working with that is a challenge, you know, because you have to really believe that even that little small request, which puts everybody at the sharp end of a wedge, matters.
She is not negotiable when it comes to art. And that's a beautiful strength she has.
I think often people who don't know her work as a director or as a writer or haven't met Liv as a person can think about her as being Bergman's muse. But, I mean, she is a force of nature unto herself.
Maybe if I could do it once more, I know things that I would have taken maybe better care of. But I'm proud of the movie.
These experiences also teach you, and then you become better or doing things differently.
I'm not a good pupil on those things, because if I'm humiliated, I'm not a good pupil, unfortunately, because it continues to stay within me, and it grows, and I make it more worse, and it doesn't enrich me.
Do you get angry?
Yes, I have a lot of anger in me, a lot of anger, and when it comes out, it's big.
And the last time we were together, we were talking about this industry and motherhood and being a woman. I mean, all of these incredible insights she has. For example, we talked about A Doll's House, and, I told her I was working on it, and I said something about how Nora famously at the end of the play leaves Torvald, and it's this door shutting, and how controversial it was, and what a feminist, act of theater it was at the time when it was written, and all of these things. And Leave's response was to me, "Oh no, she doesn't leave." And I was like, "What do you mean?" She leaves. It's written. It's a very famous thing. Nora leaves Torvald, and she walks out, and she leaves her children, and she goes to find out who she is, separate from this life she's lived. And then she looks at me and she goes, "She comes back." Even though this idea has been written about for a very long time by great minds. It says it's the slam of the door that was heard all around the world. Leave offers up. She comes back for her children.
I don't agree with this women liberation. Oh, she's strong, she leaves and leaves her children and blah, 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 and goes out and becomes a free woman. No, not this Nora. I would have to leave the husband or leave the whole appearance of who I am and who I have been in this family. But I will come back, and I will have my office in this house.
That is true. You will have your office. I'm convinced it will be a good one as well.
She was the first female director I ever worked with. I think what surprised me most was that she was so easygoing, in a way. And she was so easy to laugh, and it's always so good for an actor to feel confidence, and you feel it's space for the laugh. She created a wonderful atmosphere during the set, and that is so important.
Ingmar came while everybody else were eating. It was an intermission. And Ingmar said, "Do they know I'm here today?" "No." I said, "That's going to be a surprise when they come here and find you." "Shh, don't say I'm here." And he crept, there was a bed, and he crept into the bed and put a blanket over him. It's like a child. And then we could see, all of us, that this blanket went up and down and up and down. He was laughing. And then they came in, Pernilla and Max and everybody. And then suddenly he gets up, "Hi, I'm here." And he was so happy. And that's what he really did in terms of the film. Until I had edited, and then I went over to his island with my editor and showed him the finished film, and he liked it. He said, "But I have some suggestions." And of course, he had written a script. Of course, he has suggestions. And then he wanted to change the ending, and I loved the ending. And I wanted it to be like that. And then he said, "Well, this is not like it was in the script, that she's walking down a street and thinks about the life that was, and suddenly she's this young girl." But Ingmar, that's really how I want to have this ending. He said, well, I wrote it, and you have to listen to me. And then I did what many women have done before. I started to cry. And I cried. And he said, okay then, okay. And I got the ending that I wanted.
Ingmar, vi är färdiga med filmen. För 15 minuter sedan. Och vi har en mästerspelare här.
Det är inte min film, utan det är eran film.
Ja, det är vår film. Det är vår film. Men Pernilla...
I just made at that time a movie about Tarkovsky. So we were talking, and I said, you are a very strong woman. And she said, what? Me strong? And she played not being strong. I said, no, Ingmar has 8 kids. Only one's kid's name is Ullman. It's yours. That was the moment really that I remember. It's vivid, it's present, always present.
No woman has ever directed an Ingmar Bergman script, and you have done too.
Yeah.
Nu var det alltså allvar. David skulle komma på eftermiddagen.
He felt he had done one bad thing in his life, only one. And that was he had not been faithful to a woman long before Ingrid and me and Kirby and everybody. And I said, but Ingmar, this movie is about you. No, it's not at all. But you called him Bergman. Yeah, well, a lot of people are called Bergman. Okay, so it was Bergman. Lena Endre, she was fantastic in this movie. And she falls in love, and she decides to leave the husband and live with this lover.
Och nu var jag tvungen att tala med Isabella. Jag valde en söndag morgon.
And she has a little child that comes into her bed. And when she had done this scene, Lena Endre, you know, the whole floor applauded. And I said to you, you are incredible. But I just want you to know that when you're telling this story to other people, there's one thing that will always be part of your memory, and that's the sight of that thin little girl jumping down from your bed and walking on the floor. You never tell the story without that glimpse that we have already seen with your daughter. And then she did it again.
Den lilla raka, magra ryggen vid dörren. Hon vänder sig inte om.
When you see that and you don't tell them what to do, how can you tell them what to do or what to feel or anything? You just give a suggestion and they take it and make it real. And I go home and I think this is even better than being an actress, because they can do sometimes what you can't do.
She's a very brilliant observer. She's reading all these micro muscles that is telling you what you feel, you know. So she's very observative about this. She almost gets religious when she's talking about our profession. She taught me a lot, like, be brave, you know, go your own way. Don't think about the consequences too much, because otherwise you will stop yourself through life. With Liv, when you look at her, she's so carefree in a way. She's